Hi FlossTube, this is Barb with Lost and Floss. Today is October 16th, 2024, and this video is going to be a bit different than my regular videos. So it's still about cross stitch, and I'm going to focus today more on showing you some of the more unusual type finishes I've done over the years. As I was gathering together many of the things I wanted to show you, I realized I thought I had maybe about 10 things that were more unusual, and when I really started counting, it was a lot more than that. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe break it down into 2 different videos and kind of explain my, rather than a tutorial type format, I'm going to explain more of my thought process on how I chose things and how I came upon using the types of things that I used. So I hope you enjoy this. It's trying to explain the process of finishing beyond framing, a pillow, a stand-up. There's lots of different unique ways that you can finish something, and a lot of them, well, some of them don't even involve sewing. So basically, I think anyone really could finish things similar to some of these techniques. So to start off, the first thing, this was something Leanne started, I finished stitching. It was Blackbird from Blackbird Design, and this started out, this was one that I used my walnut crystal technique on just to make it more prim, because I wanted it to go along with this check, and originally the background was bright white, so I wanted to kind of make it more rustic. These are not arranged very well, but you get the point of it. So anyways, I just sewed the panel onto some background fabric and made a little pocket with a cuff on top, and I made a gusset in the bottom, and I think I have a candle in here, something to weight it down, and then I just stuffed it with some, I don't know, I guess it's just fabric and not finished or anything, because I thought, well, maybe sometime there'll be a time where I'll want to put something else in there. Some of the fall stuff that I had in it fell out, so I just, you get the idea of that it's rather a container. And I love how that turned out, because it's just, I can set it now on a shelf, and it's just really nice to have around for fall. So this, when I saw this lamp vase at the thrift store, right away, I don't even remember what was on the other side, but I thought, oh, I could definitely get a cross-stitch piece on there. So this is a Kathy Barrick chart, and I used flosses that were similar to the call for color. So I wanted it to look like how it looked on the chart. And it's not quite, it doesn't fit the space perfectly, but I think well enough that I really enjoy having it as a finished piece. And then I was lucky enough to find this lampshade, which I think is the perfect size and perfect color to go with this piece. I had to get like a little extender So let's see if I can get this off. I don't know if I can. Maybe I can just show you underneath. Little extender to raise it up so that it was high enough. So otherwise it was covering the stitch. And the fun part, oops, that's kind of off kilter, but the nice thing is I still can use the other side for something else, and so I probably will at some point. One of the first unique finishes I had was when I did the Little House Needleworks, was it spring ABCs, fall ABCs, and I had found this little cabinet. Well, at the time I just thought it was a little cabinet with a handle. Well, it turns out someone had, and it came with like these kind of panels. There are a number of different scenes, but someone informed me, because I'm like, oh, it's got a cute little handle, and someone informed me that it was in fact a toilet paper cabinet, and then you could put a Kleenex box here. But what I did was, and I don't know where fall is, but I made like a cardboard base, and I just have ribbon and some leaves sticking out at the top. So that was really cute, but I found that I need something to put between two doors, and I usually have like a Christmas piece and I have a patriotic piece that'll fit there. And I'm really thinking about taking these ABCs and taking them off the backing and making them into more of a bell pull so that they'll fit between the two doors. So on my radar, so we'll see if I do that. It seems like the cabinet just, I don't really have a good spot for it, and so I might just switch that up rather than trying to like use something that really doesn't fit in my space as well. When I saw people doing wordplay by Brenda Gervais, I thought, oh, really, really cute, but I didn't want them framed, and so I thought, what can I do with them that would be different? I'm just switching out September for October. I was gone for quite a bit of September, so behind on some of this stuff. But I didn't want to use a frame for them. And then I was in the store one day and I saw this little bench in the gardening section, and I'm like, that would be awesome. Just to, like, I made like a little quilt and added some little tie-ons so I can hook it over these top things. And then what I like about these is that I can put like a pumpkin and some leaves, something related to the season on the bench part itself. And it's just a kind of a cute way to display them, and not very time intensive as far as getting them to be switched out. These are the triplets, as Leanne and I called them. Bonnie Sullivan, All Through the Night, Harry, Henry, and Jack. And I found this cute giant tag photo frame that worked just perfect for these guys. And so I guess it's, more traditional framing, but being able to put them together on one piece just provides a really cute finish, which I love. And look at the back of mine. I always say, like, don't be too worried how it looks on the back, because we all have our pluses and minuses with how we finish things, and the more you do it, the more you'll just be more comfortable doing it. I have quite a few of the Prairie Schooler month charts done, and I don't have September, October, or November done yet. But the more I think about it, I'm going to rather do a fall piece. And what I plan to do, let me see. So I have these little fences that I tack on the bottom here to fill the space. So for some of the more summery spring months, I have floral on it. I have, let's see, more of a Christmas garland on it. For August, I really want to make stalks of corn to go over it. And this basically was, it had, well, probably still does underneath this, it has a picture that was in this part. And I simply covered some mat board and put the stripe underneath. And then I used the washer method of sticking the stitching piece on. And originally I was going to fill this with like something pertaining to the season, but I just leave it empty. And sometimes it has like, well, the 4th of July garland and other things in it. But this works out perfect for it. And it is a flat base, but I have it hanging in my foyer, and it's really kind of a nice, unusual thing. You have to, I mean, it's not like you can go out and necessarily purchase that, but I'm sure you could find something similar. And just what you need to do is kind of keep in mind what size your finished piece is going to be, and then look for something similar. When I saw this sled, I purposely chose a chart that I could use and chunk it up to fit on this, well, I guess it's the toboggan, really. So this is by With Thy Needle and Thread, and when I finished it, I was like thinking it was way too much. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know, why not? Why not be a little glitzy? But how my thought process with this was, I measured each of these sections to see what I could fit from a stitch count on that area. And I based it on what size linen I wanted to stitch on. I think this chart was called Candy Cane Lane. Well, I don't know. It's something by With Thy Needle and Thread. And what I did was I moved things around. I thought the house had the most weight, and so I put that at the bottom. And I just figured out, I don't know that the various borders go with the various center motifs, but I just figured out what I would need to do to fill that in. So we have the reindeer by the cakes and trees, and then it looked kind of bare, so that's why I glitzed it up and put some little Christmas doodads on it. And now when I look at it, I enjoy that I decided to leave it in my mind. I kind of reached out to people and asked if they thought it was too crazy, and a number of people were like, just leave it, it's fun. So that's what I did. I had found these, they're for candle pillars. And when I saw them, I found them at the thrift store. And they were 99 cents a piece. Let's see, they go like this. When they're against a wall, they don't go spinning around. But I wanted to find designs that would fit in the center part where the pillar candle would go. So what I did was, again, I figured out how big a stitch would fit in there. I think this one was one that was supposed to be a circular finish. That was another Brenda Gervais. And then this one, I think, would have been a lot bigger. And this one, I think this was the Plum Street, but it was in pretty much in black and white. So I kept track of the flosses I used on the other two just to make it all tie together. And this really is one of my favorite things. It was quick and easy. I just then took some twine and tied through the candle holders, and I love it, like hanging on the wall during the patriotic season. This is another patriotic finish that I have hanging on the wall. Kind of gets, you have to arrange what you stuff inside it, but just have some berries and some more antique flags. I think if I made a bag like this again, I'd leave a little bit more margin, like I used the side border as where the seam would go, and I think I would allow a little bit more, but this is similar to the first one I showed you with the Blackbird Design one. This one is, who is this? Is it Scarlet House? I think it's Scarlet House. I changed it a little bit just because as time went on, I made some mistakes. And then I just used, this is a separate fabric with the X's because I wanted to bring some navy into it more. And so this isn't a full cuff, but this top part is turned down. And it's just the stripe on the back that's stripe ticking. And then I didn't even hem this. I think I might have glued two pieces together that maybe I ripped so they have the fringy edge. And it has enough weight that when it's on a nail, it really holds together really well. And then my favorite of all time, thinking outside the box finish, was this Santa's mail piece that I did. So I found this on sale one year at Joann. It's, I think, meant to hang and maybe put your Christmas cards in it. And I had it for a number of years before I did anything with it. And I knew right away I wanted to do like a mail theme. And these cute little stitches were from the Christmas book by Veronique Angier. And I found these little mail things. They're actually supposed to be note cards, I think. Like place cards. So I just folded them up and put them on a stick. And all these things I sandwiched. Let's see if I can take one out easily. I sandwiched like a wood pick in between, well, not even in between. I put some scrapbook paper on the back and then just glued the pick to the back. And also added some greenery, some berries, this little check ribbon. I thought picked up the feel of the rest of the stuff, a little bit of berries, and I absolutely love this. In fact, part 2 of creative finishing, I will show a Valentine's piece that I did a very, very similar finish with. And I found some other tins that eventually I would like to do them for other seasons as well. But, you know, I just got to take it a little bit at a time. So I encourage you, you know, it doesn't have to be the same finish every time. Like, try to go into a thrift store with an open mind, looking at candle holders, frames that you can maybe use a different way, wood pieces that you could paint and then put the design on the base. Just think outside the box a little bit. Don't always think you have to finish it the same way. And sometimes as you're struggling to find something, an idea will just pop into your mind when you see the perfect piece. And sometimes it'll be the reverse engineering where you find the piece and then need to identify an appropriate design that will bring out the uniqueness of the finished piece. All right, well, I hope this kind of helps you think of things differently, gives you some ideas of different ways you can use things. And I will gather some other things together for Unique Finishes Part 2, just so to keep this more on the short side. And I also have a regular video coming up. I know I've been off the grid for quite a while, but had a very busy fall, and so have done enough stitching the last week or two, and so I would love to share with you what I've been up to, but look for that in a separate video. So I hope you're all doing well and continue to fill the world with love. Bye-bye.